Are you still sounding like a beginner? Do you want to sound like a beginner? No, we don't. Welcome to Tuesday Weekly Live, and it's great to have you back here. And if you're here live, if you're watching this live, please let me know in the comments. Say hi, and then I'll know you are there. And if you have any questions, be sure to ask them. I can see the chat, so I can see what's happening live. So getting started, we're going to talk about the bow, because sounding like a beginner or sounding like a pro, sounding how you wish to sound, is done with the bow. And I said in the description for 90%. 90%, so 10% is going to be left hand as well. Of course, maybe more, maybe less, that's debatable, but nevertheless, this is all about the bow. If you have a good bow, then Kevin, hi Kevin, great. If you have a good bowing, then you're going to sound great. Few things for the left hand, only a few, but the bow is the most important. I would say 90%, right? Okay, let me know if you agree. 90%, less, more, let me know. Okay, moving on. So first of all, we need to know how to hold the bow. Well, in my first lessons in the course, well, if you are following the course online in the Creative Violin YouTube channel, then you're going to see the first basics videos. That's where you start, right? In the book as well, the first lessons is the basics, just how to hold the bow and how to 110%. Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Love it. How to hold the bow, how to hold the violin. And it's not a very easy instrument to start off with. So let's get those basics right first. Now, as I see it, we want round fingers, right? If you have one straight finger, it's going to block the movement out of your hand, right? Let me show you. Round fingers. So also the thumb, can you see? Also the thumb needs to be round. The wrist round. This is it. And now here's the frog. Can you see? Let me see. Okay. You can see the frog here. And I'm not putting my thumb in the frog, but just in front of the frog. So between the grip and the frog, this is little wooden piece. And if it's too small, I cut mine out a little bit, so my thumb fits exactly on the stick. Not on the frog, on the stick. That's much easier. You're going to get a lot more control of that, out of that. So thumb like that and round. Can you see this? Round. Flat thumb, round thumb. And the fingers, the middle finger goes opposite of the thumb in the second knuckle here. See, this is the first knuckle. Second knuckle. There we go. And the index finger goes over this metal side of the grip, if it's metal. And the index finger, middle finger opposite of the thumb, and this is the third finger, just place it. And the fourth finger, the pinky, is going to be round as well. This is flat, we don't want that, round. So this is how you could balance your bow, just the pinky and the thumb. And just to make it a little bit more easy, the thumb is the only finger that may touch the hair, right? Don't touch it with your hand. All the oils of your skin is gonna rub off the rosin, and we don't want that. But the thumb is the exception. And if I place it round, my thumb goes against the hair. Can you see that? Like that. And that's where I keep it. I want to feel it. If I feel that, then I know this the bow is not going to turn around. If I don't do that, then I don't even have any control of the bow like that. But now, actually 3 points. The thumb tip, the pinky tip, and where the thumb touches the hair. That's perfect. Then you've got control. And now these fingers, the three lazy fingers as I call them, they just add to the stability. But now watch this. We need a little movement here, this flexibility. Can you see that? We need that. So look at my pinky. You can see it bend and a little bit more, a little bit less. See that? This is what we need. With the thumb as well, we need to have a little bit flexibility. And I call this the octopus, right? This is it. Now, imagine you have a paintbrush. Your hand is a paintbrush, okay? You don't hold it, but your hand is the paintbrush. If you press it against the wall and you go up, the fingers, the hairs of the paintbrush are following, right? If you go down, the hairs don't go down like that, right? You go down, but it's pressed against the wall, so they follow this, and they go down again. Got it? And now we go up, and they follow, and so you get this movement. Kung Fu, David Carradine, like that. Octopus. There we go. You see the octopus. This is actually the movement, the flexibility I want you to learn. But beware, this is not going to be a one night, I've got it, yeah, I can do it. No, this takes time, this takes a lot of practice to get this right. But first thing you have to know, do not apply any tension, no pinching, nothing. It's got to be really flexible, so very loose grip. Really, the bow is going to work for you. If you're going to really hold the bow really tight, you have to work the bow, and that is never going to happen correctly. You're not going to get a good sound out of that. The bow wants to work for you, so don't really hold the bow, just steer it. And with this flexibility, this is what we're going to need, right? Okay, now, what I told you, if for instance, just the pinky is straight, I see that a lot, then all the movement, all the flexibility is blocked. See, I can't do anything because the pinky is blocking the whole hand. Same goes for the thumb. If the thumb is straight, it's going to block all the flexibility. So beware, all the fingers are round on the bow, right? Round. Pinky, all these fingers, and don't forget the thumb, the round thumb. Place the tip of the thumb on the bow. Don't stick it through like that, because you see it's flat now. Can you see that? I don't know. Yeah, something like just have to. So there we are. See, this is flat. So tip, and there I touch the hair, and there we've got it. This is the first thing. So if the flexibility is not there yet, don't worry, it's going to come in time. But this needs time, this needs practice. You're not going to get it from one little practice. But always try to work on that. Keep in mind that first of all, that the fingers are round. Okay. Now about producing the tone is done with the bow. Let me show you. I mean, if I do this, you don't hear a thing. Am I making sense? We need the bow for it. And if you have a great bow, it's gonna... If you have a sloppy bow, then... Got it? All about the bow. So if you want to sound good, it's the bow practice. And how are we going to do that? What are we going to practice? Very good question. Well, first of all, we're going to do the long détaché. Détaché is play separate notes, detached notes, right? So we're going to start at the frog. This is not the frog. I see that a lot. This is the frog, right? Okay, start there. And we're going to pull out a long note, long tone. And we reached about around the tip. We'll go back again. Now the thing is, what you want to practice is make this a constant tone. So not like this. Get what I mean, right? Constant tone. So we have to divide the pressure. Right? And try to glue the notes together. That's a wonderful practice. Okay, we just play open strings right now because we don't need distraction of the left hand because we're focusing on the bow. So hold your hand here, open string. That's where we start practicing, right? Now, I want you to always keep your bow parallel to the bridge. What I often see is this. Does that look familiar? Right, but you can see if you play, if you're not in 90 degrees with the string, or if you can say if you're not parallel to the bridge, then it's going to sound like that. If I do exactly the same, right? Okay, parallel to the bridge. Now, how does that happen? Happens because you're pulling your upper arm towards the back. So if someone's standing behind you, he's not going to have a good day like that. We don't want that. Always be really careful with people around you. Yeah. So we have to move the bow forward. This feels that I'm not bowing to the side, but more forward. And if you can see, look at the upper arm. What happens? From the frog to the middle, the upper arm moves. But from here, I'm at the center of the bow. From here to the tip, the upper arm is still, doesn't move. And my bow is straight. See? Can you see that? And now the upper arm comes up again. And now it's still. This is how you get the straight bow, okay? And of course your wrist. At the tip position, your wrist is gonna be, let me show you, like that. And at the frog position like that. So if you don't do that, the bow goes that way. So if you do that, you can see where the bow wants to turn, right? That's it. Got it? Yeah. Right. Too much to think about. Oh, upper arm, wrist. How am I going to do that? Forward. If you look at the place where your bow hits the string, then you can keep track of the direction of the bow. Now that's it. I can see if it goes that way or that way. I can see that and make tiny corrections and be bow straight all along. Got it? Okay, that's one thing. Other thing is with your thumb against the hair and your fingers over the bow like that, your pinky round, you're going to have full control. What I like to do, but this is debatable as well, is I don't want to put the bow flat on the string. I always tend to tilt it a little bit forward and see what happens with my wrist. Can you see it? My wrist comes up a little bit. Not too much, don't lay it flat like that, but the wrist is coming up. If I do that with the elbow as well, I'm not holding the bow anymore. The bow is hanging in my hand, like this. It's just hanging there. And I've got full control if I want to apply pressure with my index finger. I've got full control over that. Or if I just want to bow really lightly and I can pick up the bow with all my arm. So the elbow also has a role in it. You can see my elbow comes up a little bit. I see sometimes this, right? But now I don't have any control. If I pick up the elbow like that, now I've got full control. I can pick it up and I can play really light at the frog position. One thing with this one is don't pick up your shoulder. Don't lift your shoulder, right? Just like that. So it's the elbow, not the shoulder. Okay. So tilting it a little bit forward is for me a great way, because if I'm playing lightly, only a few hairs are going to be on the string. If I play heavy, I'm going to push it down a little bit, and all the hairs are going to be on the string like that. So I have more control with the bow slightly tilted. Well, this is my way of playing, and there'll be obviously people who would say, no, I like the flat one. Okay, I want it tilted. So experiment with that and let me know how that feels for you. All right? Okay, other thing is, don't let your bow go this roll over like that. And this has to do with controlling it with the thumb against the hair and the fingers. So it's going to be tilted all the way. So don't let this happen. Or something like that. I do see that. So all the way. Okay? And obviously the tone is made with, if you want a hard tone or a soft tone, light, heavy, this is all has to do with pressure, bowing pressure, how much pressure we're going to put on the string, and with that the bowing speed, bow pressure, bow speed. This is very technical, I know. I'm a technical guy, so I can explain. If I'm going to push a lot of pressure, put a little pressure, let me do that again. If I'm going to apply a lot of pressure from the bow to the string, and I don't have enough speed, bowing speed, it's going to scratch. That. And the other way around is, if I don't apply any pressure on the string with the bow, but I'm going to have a lot of speed, it's going to slide over. So it's always a combination of bowing speed and bowing pressure. And if you can manage to trick anyone who's with you in the room, you say, close your eyes and let me know if I'm at the tip position or at the frog position. And obviously the weight of the bow and your arm are very important at the frog position. At the tip position, there's no weight of the bow, no weight of your arm. So if you let nature take its course, then it's going to sound heavy here. I'm not doing anything. It's going really light here. I'm not doing anything. It's the weight of the bow that works now. Right? Gravity. But I can define that gravity, and if the people in your room have seen that, so you let them close their eyes, and then you can fool them. You can do this. And even scratch a bit at the tip. Then they're going to be shocked that you're at the tip, like this. You can do that. It sounds just like I'm at the frog, right? So you can do that. So just to show you that you've got all the control of playing heavy, light, all the nuances you're going to make with the bow. And every time you're going to be playing around with bowing speed and bowing pressure so that it never scratches. But you can play really hard, putting all the pressure on the string. But if I have enough bowing speed, no scratching. So, and now it's about the nuances we're going to do. I forgot one thing. Yes, the placement of the bow. Obviously, it's going to sound a bit harsh here if you play in the neighborhood of the bridge. If you move the bow slightly more away from the bridge, exaggerating there, but so that also influences your tone, right? So you're going to play around with that too, but mind if you put a little bit pressure and you're away from, you're almost above the fingerboard, then it's going to be really difficult to get a good tone out of that. It's going to sound like this very quickly. And then we have too much pressure and too little bowing speed, especially here. It's really critical here. You can play around with that. And now you get to sound like a pro. Good. You have to get used to that. Also, this takes a lot of practice. Knowing where is the bow, what's going to be the bowing speed. You need to experiment and you need to feel how the bow feels and then what it sounds. Violin playing is all about feeling and listening, right? The reading part is something different. It's just a tool, right? It's all about hearing and feeling, both. You have to feel and hear. So the muscle memory, they call that muscle memory. And the muscle memory is that you know right away, you know how it feels to produce a sort of sound that you want. If I want a very hard sound, or if I want to play like that, it's all about feeling and listening, right? Okay, and that is, you're only gonna get that if you experiment with that. Experiment and dare to make mistakes. So that's an important one. Dare to make mistakes, because that's where you're really gonna learn. Now that was too hard. Okay, when I feel that it's too hard, it's gonna scratch. If I'm above the fingerboard, if I do that, it's gonna sound like your violin is just a quarter cold, right? So you have to experiment with that and dare to find the edges of how do you say, the horizons. Try to cross them, to feel it and to listen to it, and then you're gonna develop a great sound, right? Okay, are there any questions? Do you have any questions? Let me know. Am I forgetting? Yeah, well, yeah, the bow. Also, last time, one of the last ones, I talked about spiccato, and this is all these jumping techniques. All these things, all these bowing techniques, they come with experimenting, with practicing. That's it. It's a lot of hard work to get that tone, to get that beautiful sound, but it's worth it, because if you don't put in that effort, no matter what you play, it's going to sound bad, like a beginner. We didn't want that, right? Okay, yeah, there you go. So you can play beautiful, you can have a great left hand technique, but if you have a wrong bow, it sounds like that. Got it? One little secret I'm gonna give you to make more fluid phrases. Looking for my words here. Phrasing. Now, if I'm gonna do a bow change of direction, I can do this. Now, these two notes have equal bow lengths, right? And then I go back. Okay. Now, if just before I'm going to change the bow direction, I'm gonna give that note a little more bow. This is a little secret. I'm gonna share with you a little more bow. So instead of this, so the last note, I'm gonna give more bow. Get the difference? Or it's gonna be more fluid. You're preparing that next note. Or, sorry. A little more pressure, a little more bow, on that last note. Exaggerating a bit, right? So that last note is going to come a little bit too late, but we're divas, right? So let them wait. That's it. But the phrasing is going to be really beautiful, especially with ballads, the slow pieces. More bow on that last note just before you change bow direction, right? And also if you change strings, experiment with that as well. Okay, bouncing issues. Well, that's a good one. Bouncing issues will say maybe you drink too much coffee. That's one thing. Don't drink coffee before you play. No, but seriously, if you try to tilt the bow a little bit forward and you're lifting the bow with your arm. Now, I'm not holding the bow, so it's almost impossible to get that bouncing like that, right? If you hold the bow too tight, what nearly every beginner does, and I don't blame them, they don't know, and that's okay. That's always a start. I started like that too. I really had to train to not hold the bow. That's it. The bow says, don't hold me, don't pinch me, let me do my job. And then raise your elbow a little bit, your wrist also, so the bow is tilting a little bit forward like that. And then if you apply pressure, do it with the index finger. I mean, the index finger and the thumb, they can do it. Only that. Not with the whole hand or not with your arm. These. And I'm doing nothing with the arm, just tilting, just pushing down my index finger, and you have this little bridge here. Got it? So, if you have all the weight on the bow, too much, you don't control it. Like this. Elbow and the wrist. And you can feel that in the up bow. Pick up the elbow with you. Instead of that, you do this. And down as well. You have to be totally relaxed. So elbow and the wrist, and you're gonna lift the bow. The bow is not, you don't hold the bow now is hanging in your hand. Like that. Let me show you. Like this. It's just hanging there. I'm not holding it, it's just hanging. Right? If you tilt it, the fingers are gonna keep it from dropping. Right? Okay, Kevin, let me know if you have any trouble still with that. Just practice that with complete long bow practice. So what I told you before, long bow. And if you want this direction, play a scale. Or just go along with that. But and keep it straight. And so on, right? This is the best way to practice it, but be totally relaxed. You have to be in a sort meditational mood. Okay, good. I'm gonna leave it here. If you have any problems or if you want to ask anything more, please do so in the Facebook group, the Creative Violin Facebook group. If you're a member, then it's there for you. It's there for beginning violinists with all the questions, post videos, and let me know what you're doing, what you're studying, and you're always gonna get personal and professional feedback on that. So if you haven't yet, let me just know, if you're not following the method yet, the lessons are free. The lessons are free. No membership payments, no monthly payments, no nothing. The only payment you would have to make to enjoy the lessons are those what are on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Creative Violin YouTube channel. You need the method book. That's it. All the videos are all coming from the method book. So if you have the book, it's just $27.97. That's it, euros. That's it. That's the only payment you have to make with me, and then you can follow the whole course, the complete course, from unpacking your violin for the first time until Pachelbel's Canon. That's how the book ends. Yeah! So you can already make money playing at weddings, right? So if you haven't yet, buy the book. Only 20, not even 28 euros, and that's the only payment you have to make to follow the complete course online, right? How about a deal like that? Okay, I wish you happy practicing, and I want to see you next week again. Join me at the next weekend live. And Melanie, thank you so much, Melanie, and let me see you back in the Facebook group, Creative Violin Facebook group. And you're getting a little video now, and you can see where you can buy the book and how this is all going to work. But it's just one payment. The rest is completely free. Absolutely. See you next week. You want to learn to play the violin, and of course with the best violin method, right? Would you like to learn other styles of music on the violin in addition to classical, such as jazz, country, gypsy music, Irish? And maybe you even want to learn to improvise on the violin. Well, you can, from the very first lesson. Do you play? I am Xander Nichting, author of the new violin method, Creative Violin, from which thousands of students are already studying. So what makes this violin method so new? The build-up of the technical skills is the same as the old methods. They are fine and do not need to be reinvented. The new thing is in the music itself. Besides classical, there are many musical styles, as mentioned, jazz, country, gypsy music, Irish, and even improvisation exercises from lesson 1. But what makes this method completely unique is that videos of all the lessons and exercises in the book are also included. You can see very clearly what the intention is and how to do it. I see it in my own students. They progress much faster, but also much better. And in addition, I hardly notice any motivation problems. Of course, the accompaniments of all pieces and exercises are included. You can use him to give beautiful house concerts, or of course use him for recitals in the violin class. And best of all perhaps is the price of it all. 27.97. 27 €97. You can buy the book for just 27.97. It is available as ebook, which you can download and get started right away, or you can purchase the printed version, which will be sent to your address. Everything is included, the videos, which are on our YouTube channel, and the accompaniments. Even if you don't have a violin teacher, you can get started with this. All the explanations that a teacher would give you are also explained in detail in the videos. If you want, you can share your progress in the Creative Violin Facebook group that has been set up just for this purpose. Here you will always get positive and professional feedback on your progress, so you can be sure you're doing it right. And this is also completely free. And there are currently more than 6,000 people active in this group. So for less than 28 euros, you have a complete violin method with video instructions that will take you from a beginner to intermediate level. Book 1 closes with Pachelbel's Canon. And you could be playing this in under a year. Click on the link and we will immediately start your violin career together.